awesome. Tyler, so I hope to see you in the chat because there it is. It says that's not a conversation. That's yelling at a wall. A conversation means being open to change open to change an opinion based off of discussion, thought, and factual information. You historically shut down conversations that disagree with you and move on. No. No. A conversation means you talk. It doesn't mean that you're open to change. It means that you're just talking. Like, what you want to do, Tower Cell, is you want to come in and change my mind. I'm not asking you to change my mind. I'm not trying to change your mind. That's not what a conversation is. A conversation is, well, let's hear your opinion. Okay, well, I guess I can see that, right? Well, what's your opinion? Okay, I guess I can see that. Now, I don't agree with it. That's what a conversation is, right? A conversation isn't about it's not an argument. This is not a debate. A conversation is two people sitting down, whether they agree with each other or not, and talking like adults. That's what a conversation is. It's not about me shutting you down or you shutting me down. That's not what a conversation is. And when you learn that, and when you're accepting of that, and you don't want to go in and try to shut people down and change people's minds, that's when you can have those conversations. That's the best thing about it. I hope we can have a conversation instead of you being on the defensive. I don't want you to be on the defensive. I don't think anybody in our chat wants you to be on the defensive. But I'm not going to go and try to change your mind about anything. And I don't want you to come into my change my mind about anything. I want to have an open conversation. That's what a conversation is. Miss Mindy gifting out a tier 1 sub to Oxalo. That's awesome. Miss Mindy, thank you so much for that gifted sub. That's amazing. That's outstanding. Yeah. Tower says, so if someone is blatantly racist, not you, just X person, and they want to have a conversation about it, that's okay. They are racist because that's the conversation. Yeah, you should be able to have a conversation with anybody. You should absolutely have that conversation. You should find out why they think that way, right? You should find out why they feel that way. Who taught them that? You should absolutely have that conversation. And not having that conversation will cause more harm than good. You should absolutely have that conversation. There's no question in my mind. If a racist person wants to have a conversation with you about racism, you should absolutely have that conversation. Why would you not have that conversation? Otherwise, that's incredibly closed-minded. 100%. Absolutely. Tower says, so you don't want to try to get them to change their views. No, I want to learn about why they think that way. That's what I want to do. I want to learn about why they think that way. You know, I'm not qualified to try to change anyone's views. That goes against everything. Like I said from the start, it's not I'm not going to push how I believe on somebody, and I don't expect you to push your beliefs on me. I've been pretty consistent with that, right? But at the same time, you know, if somebody likes, let's just flip it real quick. Let's just say somebody doesn't like pizza, right? And they want to have a conversation with you about why they don't like pizza. Are you not going to have that conversation? Are you going to try to change their mind? Right? It's just a metaphor, you know? That's all. That's all. Pico says, here's the deal. Daryl Davis did that. He's a person I admire. He literally went to a Klansman to understand why they viewed him as lesser than. He wrote a book called Clandestine. Right. You know, like, you should have these conversations. Not talking to people who disagree with you or have different thoughts puts you in an intense echo chamber that you can't get out of, because everybody you talk to, everybody that is around you agrees with you. And there's nothing good that can come from that. For being as diverse and wanting to be as diverse as you possibly can, You're being about as undiverse as you possibly can. For being as accepting as you want to be, you're actually being about as unaccepting as you possibly can be. By saying, like, it's extremely hypocritical. Extremely hypocritical, right? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Rubio says, I live by that motto. You do you. Hey, Potato Pat, thank you so much for that resub. A Prime for 4 months. That is awesome. Tower Cell. Tower Cell, before we go on, I just want to say I appreciate this conversation. I appreciate you popping in and having this conversation. And as JDO says, you can't change people's minds, but having a conversation may prompt them to think about things differently, and they could change their mind on their own. JDO, bam, right there. Tower Cells, I just can't understand that view that is wanting to let terrible things in the world and would rather let terrible things happen than change their views. Tower Cell, I hope you look at JDO's comment, right? Nobody's letting anything happen, right? But you can't go in and bang a square peg through a round hole. You can't do that. You have to let people change their minds on their own. That's not how this works. It's not how human brains work. You know, all you do is you lay things out and you let them decide for themselves. That's the idea of like, well, if you're not doing something, you're part of the problem. Which is like the craziest way to think. Like legitimately insane, right? You can't go in and beat things down with blunt force. You have to let people have their own free way of thinking to make their own decisions. And when they make their decisions, that then and only then will you see them live their best life and make those decisions and stand by those decisions, right? It's like if you were to go out, let's say you're incredibly overweight. You're incredibly overweight and you have a trainer who's going, you're fat. You need to run. You are so fat. Stop being fat. Stop being fat. Stop it. Stop being fat. Stop being fat. Stop it. Is that going to help them lose weight? Right? No, they have to make up their mind. They have to make up their mind that they have to lose weight. So, you know, Jonah, thanks so much for popping in today. Appreciate that. Jerome says, I know it's frustrating at times. I have to deal with it. Won't go into the topic as others view differently. I listened to their part. They listened to me. We both talked, and sometimes they did change. Sometimes they did not. It's all good. I did what I can. Right. Exactly. And that's just it. That's just it. Right. You know, and I think what you're going to find here, Tower Cell, is that your conversation is welcome. I'm looking through the chat here. I haven't seen a single person out here be negative to you or be upset with you for having an opinion that's different or maybe the same as theirs. It's just about conversation here. That's it. ADT says, Craig, would you intervene if you were out and saw someone being blatantly racist to someone else? I believe that is what people who don't accept your stance fear you wouldn't do. ADT, I have been personally, right? Personally, I have seen racism. I have had insane racism directed towards me. Yeah, like you do as much as you possibly can, right? But there's also a time and place for everything, right? If a guy's going up and if a white guy's beating up a black guy for no reason, yes, you step in, right? Yes, of course you step. That's not. Let me rephrase that. If a man is beating up another man for no reason, yes, you step in. Like, take black and white out of it. It's just human decency. And that's the thing that I think that a lot of people are so stuck on. We talked about that yesterday, the idea of like, I am this, I am a male, I am a female, I am gay, I am, I am an identifier, I am he, him, I am she, her, I am whatever, right? I am a 2-time cancer survivor. People want identifiers.
Good morning.
My identifier is on
My
the person.
ex-girlfriend of the 5 years called me racist because I didn't believe in her politics.
Right. Right. It's incredibly close-minded. I'm sorry, Zoe.